Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be talking about the near-term future for Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ripple. I'm also going to be talking about our two swing trades on Bitcoin and Ether that we took yesterday, the reasons for it, and one of those potential signals that we had missed earlier. So the other day when I was making this video, I talked about a possible long position on Bitcoin once the daily is confirmed. So yesterday I tweeted out that I had entered a position. So this morning I also talked about the headwinds that are coming together if once it broke through. So because the reason why is, I'll show you the chart now, is that right now, Bitcoin is at medium-term resistance, which is at the 8,400, and also there's the 200 daily EMA at the 86.61. It came really close today at the 8,600. The reason I bring this up is this little circle over here, because the last time it broke down below the 200 and it started to come back up, it hit it, a bunch of times and then went back down again. So this is something that we have to be a little bit careful of. So while it's in this zone, if it starts to stagnate, go sideways here a little bit, I'll be a little bit more cautious. Just because of the nature of what's going on in the crypto markets recently, which is basically pop up, pop down, and a range. So right now we've had our pop ups, right, which have been great if you're on the long side, but we always have to be cautious of the pop downs. So what we really need is a steady climb up, higher and higher and higher. And this way it'll give people a little bit more confidence to stay in the trade a little bit longer instead of getting out. So for more advice on trading and investing in crypto, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post new videos. You can follow us on Twitter and Telegram. We also have our model portfolio. So let's talk about Ether. So same thing here. On the other day when I was posting this video, we had a abandoned downward signal over here. And I said in the videos that if this thing changes color to the upside and it confirms, I would be going long. So I put my order in at 530. I got filled. Right now it's at 589. So that's a pretty good profit. I've already put my stop to a trailer for a tiny little profit, just in case. Because same thing for Ether. Ether is touched the 200 daily EMA, and if it breaks it, then it can go to 662 and then pass further for 784. But if it doesn't, it can go all the way back down to 502. So because of that pop scenario that I talked about, I want to be very careful. So let me go back to Bitcoin for a minute, talk about the potentials for where it can go if it crosses the 200. So our next target really here is 9,400. So if it comes across here, the next major resistance line past this area here is 9,400, which we were at before. And then if it can cross that, then we have short-term resistance at 9,800, then at 10.7, and then major resistance again here at 11,800. This is the double top that we experienced back in February and in March. So if it breaks this level here and above 9,400, then I believe it can go all the way up to 11.8. And if it does that, then we have a potential to get back a little bit higher, especially since, as I talked about before, is that when I showed you the weekly charts, right? So here we are right now. So if we close above on the weeklies, close above this high here, which is about 84.50, we're presently above that now. But if we close above 8,500, and this hasn't happened since all the way back in September, right here. This is the last time I did that. And last time I did that, it skyrocketed to the moon. So that's the potential. I'm not predicting how far it will go. That's not what I do. But I do know that if it closes and confirms, right, it can go a lot higher. Theoretically breaking past the highs of last year. So that'll be around 20,000. So let's look at Litecoin. So Litecoin is something that I missed. It looks going higher and higher. I was waiting for it to pull back and maybe get back in, just like Bitcoin and Ether, but Litecoin never did that. The other day I talked about how Litecoin was very, very strong. Bitcoin and Litecoin, in my opinion, are the two strongest, just looking at the charts for a long-term perspective. So I had totally missed that. The other thing I missed was Bitcoin Cash. The reason for it is that I think in this case, because I kept on talking about how it was in blue ocean after it had passed 850, which is this level here, and how it could go all the way down. I think because of that, what happened is that my personal bias kind of got into play. It's one of the things I tell people not to do, and it is what I did because I missed a potential good signal because the signal came right around here, not over here. I'm not going to catch the bottom, but see how it bounced off of this number here, 750. So once it crossed 750 and kind of like stagnated for a little bit, and it kind of broke down, that was a good place for me to buy it back on a little bit of a pullback. Just like what happened with Bitcoin and with Ether. Litecoin didn't do that, but Bitcoin Cash, I wasn't really paying attention to it. I kind of put that out of my mind. And now I already put a little note in my journal to remind myself not to put my own personal views on the charts. So I thought that Bitcoin Cash was going to go further down, but I was totally wrong. The charts do, the markets do what they want to do, right? I just look at the charts. So let's look at one that I talked about the other day with Ripple. It was pretty funny because this candle here, even though it looks it's blue now, at one time it was magenta, but unfortunately I didn't get filled. It passed over me. It jumped over me. So that's unfortunate for me. I kept my order there. It never triggered it again. It just kept on going to the moon. And for me, I don't like to chase because what happens is that if I would have, because a lot of times when you do chase, it fills you and then it comes back, right? And then you're a little bit worried because you're paying such a higher price than you would have before. So the price I really wanted to get in at was at 68 cents. It jumped over me. Kept on going higher and higher and higher. It never really came back far enough for me to feel comfortable for where my profits would be. Right now it's at 86 cents. If it clears this little hurdle here at the medium term resistance here, it can go all the way to 120. And that wouldn't have happened since February. So it came way, way down. It lost a ton of money, but now it looks like it's going back. But in order for it to keep on going back up to like the $2, $3 range, it has to pass 120 first. So let me go back to Bitcoin Cash to see where it might go to as well. So Bitcoin Cash, if it closes this hurdle here and it closes above 11,050, then the next target here would be 1,500. That's where major resistance was here before. It bounced below it. So if it clears this one, then it can go to 11.5, and then past that is 2,100. So going back to Litecoin, Litecoin is at looks pretty strong. I think 160 is very reasonable, and beyond that, 200 would be my target because that is a major resistance up to the top. So thank you for watching. Please follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. If you like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button and share it with your fellow crypto traders. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you in our next video.